typical team that we've seen, or step back with some sloppy habits?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, we had our guys in position to make plays and make tackles, and they didn't make them. You give some credit to Utah, but then we got to also shoulder our responsibility of being able to get, when we got guys that are unblocked and in position to make the tackles, they got to get the guy on the ground.
With Cal having a bye, Monster has got some time to. What do you expect to see from? I'm assuming that's the guy you expect to see at quarterback.
Yeah, that's.
Do you expect to see something a little different than what you've seen with?
I think everybody coming off a bye, they just like Utah was able to throw. We saw multiple formations that they hadn't put on tape in any of their games so far this year. I think that's pretty common. You don't know what to expect, but they're going to have some new wrinkles. They have 2 weeks to prepare and a full extra week of practice time, and so they're going to give us some new wrinkles, just like everybody does coming out of a bye.
With Omar off the team now, what do you at safety? Where's your depth at? Are we going to see some?
I think
we haven't seen much.
No, you're going to see the same guys out there. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the next man up type of deal, and I mean, we still, J-Mo's finally healthy and back, and so we kind of pick him up, and and then the other guys that have been out there with Sean and Akili and David Morris, and those guys will all be ready to step up and go.
I think Akili's played a couple of games. Do you feel like he's the guy that you're going to see more of here?
Yeah, I expect him to continue to play. At this point in time, I don't see that he's going to be able to be a redshirt.
Yeah. Does Cal do anything unique on offense, or something that you don't see a lot of?
Probably the biggest thing that they do that you haven't seen a lot of is they're going to be in more empty formation sets than other teams. They're going to have out there with no running back in the backfield, and just the quarterback and the 5-0 lineman, and then a 5 receiver look. Yeah. And so we saw a little bit of that against Hawaii, but Cal does a significant amount more than other teams.
Yeah.
Chris Brown Jr., obviously a running back behind a team that loves to pound the ball a lot. I mean, how instructive was it? You go from a team like UCLA that seems like they aired a little bit, and then go to a Utah team that's more ground and pound, and then to this team that's a little more ground and pound. Is there at least a silver lining in having seen something relatively familiar in the last week?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a big physical back from last week. Obviously, hopefully we learned the lessons that we needed to get that guy down, and that's what Cal wants to do. They're going to try to come out, they're going to try to play to their defensive strengths and run the football and control the clock on offense, and so we know we got to go out and tackle a big running back. So
as far as, I guess, not necessarily playing towards game script in that first quarter, but obviously the starts have been slow defensively in the first throughout most of this season. I mean, has that been a pattern you guys have isolated? Has there been something you've seen there for getting down early or having to have that offense keep pace with them early?
No, I mean, I think obviously you'd like to start fast whenever possible, and I don't think there's been one thing that has been carried over from game to game, and this is a reason why we haven't started fast.
2 byes in one season, you like that?
It's just kind of unique this year with the way the schedule worked out, and I think it will be very beneficial for us if we can get through this game and play well on Saturday. We got a lot of guys that are banged up and not available right now, and so hopefully that extra week gives us those guys back for that final push at the end of the season.
Do you dwell on guys that you don't have? I mean, there's the long list of really good guys that you pretty good defense this year and improving from last year, but there's a long list of really good players like Avery not being there last week. Do you dwell on that or just go with what you got?
You can't dwell on. You got to get the guys that are ready to go for the next game, and injuries are a part of it. I'm sure Cal's wishing they had their starting quarterback. And Zach Moss was down for Utah for a while, and then he unfortunately came back for our game. But that's just, injuries are a part of football at every level of football, and that's why your depth is so critical. And the teams that have really good depth, they can survive those, and the teams that don't, it hurts them more.
What do you tell a team after a game like last week?
Well, we got to own it. We got to learn from it and try to make sure that doesn't happen again. And then so take responsibility for it, and then try to move on. And within 24 hours, we got to forget about it and shift our focus to Cal. We can't let Utah beat us twice. Obviously, that was an ugly showing all around, and we got to own it and then move on and get ready for Cal.
Jonathan said progress is not linear by any means, and there's something to that. But is it a little bit disheartening to see it look like that defense was really coming along in the last couple of weeks, at least getting some stops here and there when it counted, and then to see the floodgates sort of open? Is that a little dispiriting?
Yeah, obviously you don't ever want to have a game like that. But I've been coaching a long time. I've been on teams that were 9-0 and got their butts kicked like that, and then rebounding back. And so, that's just part of it in sports. That's why you play the game. And so we got to, like I said, learn from it, move on, and then get ready to go for Cal.
How do those players do? Because I'd imagine mentally the vision that you as a staff are selling them is, it is going to get better, and you're going to be part of a rebuild here. And moments like these, I'd imagine, put a dent in that a little bit. I mean, what is the mental message to them, and how have they been handling it this week?
Yeah, like I said, the first thing we got to do is, as a coach, is we got to show it to them and tell them the truth, and tell them what was good enough and what wasn't good enough. And they got to take responsibility for it, just like we do as the coaches. And then you move on from it. And that's the great thing about the in season during the there's a whole other opponent you got to get ready for. You can't sit back and dwell on it for a long period of time. You got another opponent that's waiting for you coming the next Saturday. And so I think our guys have done a good job. We've had 2 good days of practice here on Tuesday and Wednesday, and so hopefully that shows up on Saturday's practice or Saturday's game.
Do you think the accountability among the players has been good this week?
Yeah, I think our guys didn't hide from what it was. It's on tape. It's there for everybody to see. And so you know who made mistakes and who made plays and who didn't make plays, and so there's no hiding from it.
Now, halfway through the season, how far along are you compared to last week this time? How much better are you guys?